So my name is Hayden. Today I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can set up a Meta ad campaign to generate leads for your service business. I've worked with over 10 businesses in all different niches to generate high quality leads, sometimes worth over $100,000. So I do know that this works and I know how to make it work. Now the example I'm going to use today is residential window tint because I used to be a tint installer myself. That's what I'm most familiar with. So no matter if you're a detailer, if you're a tinter, if you do paint protection film, if you do epoxy floors, if you do landscaping, the process is going to be pretty much the same. So let's get straight into it. Once you make your way over to Meta Ads Manager and you have your account linked, you're going to want to click on create and then choose your campaign objective to be leads. Now we are going to use instant forms today. I'm probably going to make different videos that break down the differences between all of these, but generally instant forms work just perfect when they're set up properly. So within our campaign setup, there's a few different things we'll want to touch. A lot of the other stuff we can leave alone. So we're going to leave our buying type set to auction, our campaign objective as leads, and we can set our campaign spending limit at a total amount. So if we're only looking to spend, $1,000 on this campaign, we can add that amount in there. For our budget strategy, I'm gonna do Advantage Plus campaign budget. What this means is that Meta is going to distribute the budget to the ad sets within the campaign that it thinks are going to convert the most. If you're trying to push budget to a specific set more than another, it's important to set ad set budget. But in this case, and for simplicity's sake, we're gonna use campaign budget and let Meta do its thing. Now, when choosing your daily budget, generally, any client that I work with, at our bare minimum, we're gonna wanna be at $30 a day, which is $900 a month. And this is because what I've come to learn doing this, I've made videos about it in the past. Generally, giving this system no money is not going to allow it to learn properly. You'll find that you can get accurate data and results from feeding it enough money to where that's not the issue and something else is. So a good rule of thumb, if your average cost per lead for your industry is a certain amount, I try to be at an amount 2 times that, because if our cost per lead is, let's say, $20 and we have a daily budget of $20, that means on average, we'll expect to generate 1 lead per day, right? So in this case, I looked up the average for residential window tinting. I went high end, $11. So we'll do $30 a day to be safe. Now, our bid strategy is going to be highest volume, and we're not going to set any budget scheduling. Not doing any A/B testing, and we're not a special ad category. We have our campaign structure set up. That took us less than 5 minutes. Let's move on to the ad set level. Now in our ad set level, our conversion location is going to be a single conversion location set to instant forms. We're going to choose the page that we want our ads to display on. Our performance goal is going to be a maximum number of leads. I typically don't maximize for conversion leads just because I haven't seen a real difference. I leave value rules alone. I leave off dynamic creative. And here's where you can schedule your ads. So we can schedule ours to start tomorrow, or I guess tonight, but technically tomorrow at 12 a.m. And if we want them to only run for 2 weeks, we can pick 2 weeks. Now, I'm gonna leave on Advantage Plus in pretty much every category, and I'm gonna explain to you exactly why. People ask me very often whether or not to trust Advantage Plus, and the truth is, Meta's algorithm is smarter than we are. So when you do your portion of creative targeting, which I'll get into on the next page, you will not have to mess with targeting as much as people make it seem like. The location is most important. We're gonna set our location to our service area. We don't want our ads showing to people across the entire country. 1, because we don't have enough budget for that. 2, because chances are we don't service the entire country. And I usually opt out of reaching people likely to respond. And we can set a minimum age for our ads. In this case, it's useful if you're looking to target just homeowners. You look up the medium homeowner age in your state, set your minimum based on that. I'm not gonna exclude any audiences. I have it in all languages. Basically, you can make priority of showing the ads to people within a specific age range. It does not mean that it will only show to these people, but it is a suggestion to the algorithm. Now, the same is true with detailed targeting. Meta added a new AI feature which allows you to describe your audience, which I personally have not used yet. But in the original options, you can pretty much choose demographics, interests, and behaviors that are relevant to the service you provide. So in the case of home window tinting, we might put home improvement as an interest. Now what I've found is adding an interest at first is useful, but allowing Meta to have full control over everything has seemed to produce the best results, the most amount of leads, and generally learn the most. So a lot of times I'll literally avoid adding any interest at all. Now, we don't care about ad transparency really, unless we're doing some special targeting, which we're not. Now, Advantage Plus placements. A lot of people ask, should I leave this on or turn this off? In my experience, leave it on, and I'm gonna explain exactly why. What Advantage Plus placements means is that Meta has 3 different platforms, right? We've got Threads, we have Instagram, and we have Facebook. Now, your ads can display in all different places across these 3 platforms. You've got Facebook Reels, Facebook Stories, and Facebook Feed. Then you've got Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories, and Instagram Feed, and the same for Threads. So what Advantage Plus does is learn where it's converting best and continue to feed the budget and the placement into those highest converting areas. So yes, at first you can exclude certain areas where you think your ad won't convert, but generally it's gonna learn so quickly where it's doing best and where it's not, and it's gonna delegate the budget into those places. And that control is just something you don't have, and when it's a smarter system than you, I let it do its thing. I'm gonna show you a client dashboard with some results just to showcase exactly what I mean. So on here we have one of our ad sets for January when we ran a home window tinting offer. Now we have here the breakdown selected with placement to show exactly where our placements were going and where our results were coming from. So we see that we have a total of 141 leads with a $9 cost per lead. Of those 141 leads, we see 22 came from Facebook Reels at a $12 cost per lead. Meta delegated $270 there. In Facebook Stories, however, we have no leads, and we see that Facebook only spent $9 with placement there. So clearly it saw a better opportunity there, put our money there, we got more leads. Now the same is true with Facebook Feed, $180. The most popular for this campaign was Instagram Feed with $430 worth of placement. Then we have Instagram Reels with 37 leads, $270 in placement, so on and so forth. So we can see that although all of these placements exist, really Meta's Advantage Plus is just placing them in the places it's best going to convert. For simplicity's sake, we'll leave Advantage Plus placements on. Now here's where things get more and more important. So at our ad level, we're gonna choose our Facebook page and Instagram profile. And people ask me all the time, should I run video ads or should I do image ads? I always recommend doing video ads. Depending on your niche and the age of who your ICP is, you might wanna, take into account that older people convert better with static images. But in this case, our ad creative is going to be very, 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 very important for Facebook to learn and properly optimize. So we're gonna do a video ad. Our destination is going to be instant form. We're gonna create a form that filters leads and increases the quality of them. So in our form, I'm just gonna go with more volume. I'm gonna allow it to be optimized for delivery. It basically can show certain questions first if it thinks it's gonna convert better, which I don't really mind. We're gonna set up our intro with a good greeting and a good description. Now, if we have an offer in our ad, we're gonna wanna headline our form with something like, claim your 10% off full home tint. This is a terrible example, but just so you have an idea. Now questions, here's where it becomes most important. So with window tint, with different niches, you're gonna have different questions that are relevant to what you're trying to figure out. So there's questions that are gonna be relevant to the service itself. So in this case, how many windows do you need tinted? And then we have our answer options where we can allow them to either type in a short answer or select from multiple choice. Now our second question will be, why do you need tint? Obviously very entry level, it's going to be better than this, but in this case our answer options would be privacy and heat protection, or glare, or reduce my energy bill, things like that. Now the next few questions that start to really do the filtering are, how soon are you looking to get this done? Would be a good example of one that qualifies their seriousness. Then we have our budget qualifying question, and it's very important to frame this properly because it can kind of scare people away. But a good way to do this, if we're looking to only get jobs that are over $500, we can say, home window tint typically ranges from $500 and up. Do you understand this? Window tint typically ranges from $500 and up. Do you understand this? Obviously, we're going to word it much better, but in this case, the two answer options, yes, I understand and am comfortable with this pricing, price range, or the option of saying, I am not quite understanding and would like to better understand. Something along those lines, right? And this is going to help you understand when a lead comes in, whether they're educated or they need more education, right? Because if someone is understanding and they're comfortable with the price range, they're probably pretty aware already and they have money, or they're not understanding and they don't have money. So this question really does a good job of giving you an idea of who you're talking to. Now, there are more questions you can add. Generally, 5 to 6 questions max. Anything over that will reduce your lead flow a lot. For contact information, I always prioritize phone number and allow emails to be optional. Now, the most important thing is your speed to lead, and the way to get Facebook ads to actually work in your favor is to be on top of your speed to lead and your follow-up. Now, there are systems you can set up to do both of these things for you, and that's actually what I specialize in. Generally, whenever a lead comes in, within 15 minutes, you want to be on the phone with them. Always, always, always want to lead with a phone call and then follow up with a text. Following up beyond that, it may take days to nurture them. It may not. Instagram and Facebook are a very fast-paced platform. People tend to submit their info and then it kind of slips their mind. So the longer you wait after the lead comes in, the lower your odds of converting them actually become. Our privacy policy, we can pretty much leave out. If you have one, you can include it. And then our ending, we can set to allow people to call us directly, or we can send them to our business, or they can get access to a file that contains a promotional discount, and we can tell them, that we appreciate them submitting, and then set the expectation for communication in the description. Our call to action can be call now, and we can have our phone number directly on there. So there we go. We publish our form, and now we've got our form. So now for our ad creative, which is literally the foundation and arguably the most important piece of this entire thing. It's going to be how to create a good creative. Now, I have examples on my Instagram of good creative videos. So if you want to head over to my Instagram, you can take a look, scroll through my posts, and you will find videos that I've broken down literally frame by frame on why exactly we said the things we said, so you can get some inspiration for your video ads. I'll also put on screen here just this little kind of basic outline for how to make a high converting video ad in a service business. So you can pause on this and kind of read this. Now, all that being said, once we have our creative made, we've got our video in place, we have our very simple lead gen campaign set up. Obviously, this is just one ad set and one ad. Now, if you have different offers that you're testing, you create new ads within this set that are relevant to this specific set's goal, or you make a new set within your campaign if you have a different goal. Now, if you need someone to do this for you and to manage the entire system, and you want to literally handle just booking the leads as they come in, that is exactly what I do. So there is a link to work with me in the description down below. You can fill out your info, we can get on a call, and I can show you what I can do for your business. That being said, I do plan on making more videos in the future, and there's probably some on my page that you can reference already. If you have any questions for me or any insight or input, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll try to respond to all of them. And my socials, I've already put on screen and they're in the description. And this is exactly what I would do if I started my business and I literally had 10 followers. I would make a high quality ad, get it going, put some money into it, get myself some leads, and immediately get myself some jobs. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you for watching. Be on the lookout for more. Have a good one.